All right, so today I would like to talk about controlling your thoughts. It's something that I'm guilty of today and yesterday is basically just not controlling what I'm thinking about during the day. When you are in a spot where you're not able to draw, you're not able to work on what you want to work on, you're at your day job, you're with family, you're at the grocery store, doing errands, whatever, you need to be careful about what you're thinking. There are a lot of things that we can be frustrated with in our day-to-day lives or yearly lives, right? We want to own a house, we want to get a better job, we want to do be more intimate with our partner or more connected with our family, and we can be frustrated about the state of those various desires, and we can ruminate on them and be negative and start to spiral downward basically into thinking, oh, this sucks. I can't do anything about this. What do I do? Fuck. I've messed up. Blah, 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 blah. That's what I did yesterday while I was at work, and I didn't even really pay attention to the fact that I started to do that. I thought it started off as a really good day. I ran, I recorded a video, I did a ton of art. Like I made a lot of progress with things. So I came into work to my day job and I was feeling pretty good. And then just gradually, your thoughts just start to go down into complaining and negativity and woe is me bullshit. And yeah, you start to get really negative. Um, Then you come home and your partner feels that, and then that's extremely unproductive. That makes them feel like shit. That makes you feel worse. Doesn't solve anything because you're just adding fuel to the fire of whatever's bothering you, and you're just disrupting your routine because now you're maybe staying up later than you normally are because you're ruminating on it or feeling shitty or fighting with somebody. So all these things, all these frustrations just take away from your energy, your time. They take away your energy, they take away your time. You can be frustrated or you can be doing something about it. And that's really it. There's no there's no third option. You could be frustrated, you could be negative, you could be complaining, or you could be doing something about it, about all those things that upset you. There's no there's no other option. And that's really all I wanted to talk about. You In order to not spiral or go down negative paths, it's pretty easy to when things are going really well. When something really good happened, you got the job you wanted, you got into a new place, you you got a vacation with your partner, you got time with your family, whatever. When something really good happens, it's automatic to just have decent quality, good, grateful thoughts throughout the day. It's so easy. Um, and outside of that, it's a conscious effort. When you haven't gotten some treat, some reward, some positive thing, you have to consciously decide to have positive thoughts, have grateful thoughts, have quality thoughts. And the way to do that is literally telling yourself, today I'm at work, I'm here, I'm at the grocery store, and I'm going to think about X. I'm going to think about drawing. I'm going to think about these characters that I want to draw. Like, you should be intentionally thinking about what you want to do with the free time that you have when you don't have free time. if you don't do that, you're just bound to slide into negative thinking that is going to trip you up if you continue to let it spiral you downward, basically. So, yeah, it's harder said than done. It's not really super easy to say, okay, I'm going into work. I got to do this 8, 9, 10 hour shift. And this whole time I am going to think about storyboarding, or this whole time I am going to think about, you know, God and positivity and things I'm grateful for. It is not super easy to do that. It's easy to do that and then you start doing it and then it's easy to just fall off of it. Your brain is so powerful that it'll just go in a direction, without you steering it. And you'll have like millions of thoughts throughout the day. You'll have so many thoughts. You walk into a new place, you're having thoughts, you like it is your brain is just this like machine that is constantly thinking, faster than you even realize. Like you're so used to it that you don't even realize how many thoughts are going through your head per like 5 minutes. If I was to guess, I would say for me personally, every 5 minutes I've had like 30 different, probably more than that, 30 different like sentences that pop into my head, or thoughts, or like feelings. That's so many. And I doubt that anyone has none of that. I don't think that's even possible. But I mean, maybe, I don't know. Some people claim that they think in pictures, but if that's the case, then I'm sure that they're thinking of a lot of pictures. They're seeing a lot of stuff float through their brain. So it's not super easy, and it's a practice on its own. It's an entire practice on its own. You're going to have to do things that help you to think intentionally on your non free time. You're going to have to write down, I am going to think about this while I do the dishes at work or dig a ditch at work. I am going to think about solving this problem in my artwork or project while I work. Yeah. So that's what you got to do. And then you gotta write it down. That'll help you. And then you gotta like revisit it. Cause it's not super easy, but the thing is that the amount of effort that you would spend consciously thinking about a an art issue, or something intentional, the amount of effort that you're going to spend intentionally thinking about something is the same amount of effort you're going to spend letting your mind wander. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but we all have times where our brain is just spiraling about something. We're getting really upset, and that of course is just taking a lot of energy, more than just being mildly upset, right? And then when we're trying to work on something and we're intentionally thinking about it, there are times when it can be a smooth process of, okay, I'm going to get this done, this done, this done, okay, this, and it's like kind of not taking a huge amount of energy. And then there's the parts where you're really trying to solve something and it's like, fuck, this is frustrating, and that takes a little bit more energy. But in total, if you're going to intentionally think about something that you actually should be thinking about in your free time, in your non-free time, it's going to take the same amount of energy as just letting your brain go anyway. So it's not really extra work. It's just a habit that you have to form. And I am saying this right now with the absolute intention of following it myself. I'm not someone who has followed this super well myself. However, the days where I've intentionally had the thoughts that would be helpful to me, the days go so much better. I'm so much more ready to work on my projects when I'm able to work on them because I did these things. So I am speaking from experience because I have done this and it has helped me tremendously. The days where I am consciously thinking about the characters in my project or the artwork in my project or good things actually, gratitude and just thinking about Jesus Christ and my family and how much I love them, intentionally thinking those things, the days that I've done those are so, so, so good. So good. And, it's almost like my bad days or whatever, the days where I kind of get irritable or blow up at somebody when I shouldn't have, or say something I regret or waste time or whatever. It's like I'm just not being conscious of what I'm thinking of. It's just a complete like, oh, I don't need to, it's not even a thought. It's not even a thought. It takes zero thinking to get yourself into a spot where you're upset, you're frustrated, you're making other people feel bad because you're not in control of your head. It takes zero effort to just do that. I don't think I'm a particularly negative person, but I do get there, and I could avoid that if I just consciously, I'm gonna think about good things today. Um, and yeah, this is what I was saying at one of the starting at one of my first videos was just like, I'm not gonna be giving art advice because yeah, like not much anyway. Really, not much. I think the video I did of having fun while you're drawing and figuring out what you enjoy. I think that's art advice. But I'm not giving technical advice on how to draw shapes, how to do rendering or anything because I think this is just so much more important. I think that cleaning up your brain and sorting out issues is how you're going to be able to have the clarity and energy and creative space freed up to be able to work in the first place. You're not able to take any technical art advice and use it unless your brain is in a state where it's receptive to it and can utilize it fully. If you have stuff eating at you, if you have like frustrations and unsorted family issues or work issues or financial issues or health issues, and then you sit down to learn, you're just not going to absorb things. You might absorb some things, but you can absorb 10 times more if you are just simply at peace in your day-to-day life and doing the right things, the right practices in your day-to-day life when you're away from the table. And there's a book called The Brain That Changes Itself by Norman Doidge, which I think is the most useful, helpful book I've ever read, save for maybe the Hagakure. I really like the Hagakure. But in that book, basically it's all about how the brain is plastic. It changes shape. It's a sort of theory on the brain that is different from, chemical neurology and psychology, where the brain is a muscle. Neuroplasticity treats the brain as a muscle that changes shape according to what it does. So taxi drivers have a differently shaped brain than you and I that can just physically be looked at and go like, oh yeah, this person's brain is the brain of a taxi driver because they memorize all these different routes, and that basically impacts their physical brain in a different way. It grows it in a different way than someone who does something else. And in this book, The Brain That Changes Itself, one of the things it says is the most useful for people who want to gain a skill and get good at something, whether that's art, sports, or whatever, is to be thinking about that thing, thinking about that practice that they are doing or competing in when they are not doing it. So if you want to get the best at piano, the best way to do that is to be thinking about piano when you're not playing piano. And I don't remember the exact statistics on how much more people improve with this. I just remember that it was a lot. It was a lot. I think it must have been around like 70% quicker learn. I'm not exactly sure. You'd have to read the book. It's a very short book, and it mostly deals with issues and people recovering from like serious issues like strokes and brain deformities. But that's in there. The brain that changes itself. I think that so much of the way that I think about art is down to that book, and I definitely think it's worth reading. So yeah, I'm probably going to be recommending it a lot as I do these videos. I feel very good about that because I just think that that's such a good book. I don't think that I would be nearly where I am with art if I didn't read that book, or with life too. Like totally outside of art, there are just principles in that kind of thinking of like my brain can adapt itself based on what I do with it that have allowed me to do things that I wasn't totally prepared for, and knowing that I could figure it out. I feel like I owe a lot to that book, and I think that a lot of people would really benefit from it. I think that almost anything I say on this channel, in terms of usefulness, is probably not comparative to what you could get from that book. So, yeah, that's it. I'll say it one last time. The Brain That Changes Itself by Norman Doidge. Doidge. All right, goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your day or whatever. Don't eat garbage. Don't watch porn. Don't be an idiot. Don't be shitty to your family. Don't be an argumentative, complaining asshole. Goodbye. Also, I wanted to add, yeah, I guess this video is not over. I wanted to add that if you are not thinking about your project that you're doing, if you're not thinking about the characters you're drawing, or the story that you're building, or the world that you're building, or the game you want to make, whatever it is you're making, if you're not thinking about it outside of the times when you are sitting down and doing it, then you're not really that into it, and you're not having that much fun with it. And that really is one of the biggest things. If you want to do something more, if you want to draw more, if you want to, then start wanting to. Start coming up with something that would actually intrigue you. Start, intentionally. If you're drawing, you're building something, and then away from it, you're at work or you're whatever, and it's not fun enough for you to think about, then you're probably not going to make anything good. You're probably not making anything good at all, because you don't even fucking care about it. So that's a big measure you can use to, try to figure out what you want to do with your thoughts and your time and your energy. Do I actually care about this enough to think about it? How can I kind of, what show did you like that you really like the characters of? I love The Walking Dead. Why was it so impactful when these different characters died, and why did I feel so good when they lived or they survived? That is so fun. Maybe I should do a zombie story. Maybe I really like zombies. Maybe I really like the intensity of not knowing if a character is gonna live or die. That's so fun. It makes it more real. That's what I'm into. Let me come up with my own stories of fucking Dale and him surviving a horde of zombies on Main Street, and then I'm gonna be daydreaming about that. That's what I need to be doing more and more with my work, and I just that's so fun to do. So why personally, why am I letting myself just have these fucking useless, annoying, negative thoughts all day? Why am I doing that to myself when I could be having fun with something? actually having fun with it, and then being really excited to work on it in my free time. Why am I just thinking about, oh, woe is me, I need more money, I need my dick sucked more, oh, I need head more, I don't get enough head, I don't get enough pussy, ah! Why am I doing that? Gay. All right, that's it.